had two quite the stellar class.
Sure.
It goes deeper than the names you're seeing printed,
absolutely.
too. It goes much deeper than that. And I'm told by friends that I think are in the know that they've never seen Arkansas more unified and having a plan and a direction and knowing going forward this is what it's going to take than they are now. And that they know that baseball is fine.
Sure.
It's picturesque.
Yep.
It may be the prototype. They think that basketball is fixed. They know that football is going to have to be in decisions, leading up to coaching carousel in November is going to lead up to that. I just put it very nicely. This is it for Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
I think most people know that. They're going to have. They have a plan that they're ready. They've never been more unified. Northwest Arkansas fighting with the Little Rock business community and kind of who's got the best suite and the best box and who's got the better tickets at the Final Four. That's over. They are on the same page, unified, and will make a blockbuster college football coaching hire come November.
I believe it. I mean, we just saw what they did for
Don't be
basketball.
shocked by anything they do.
I believe it. I mean, honestly, after what just happened with basketball, no, I don't think anything Arkansas does could surprise me. I think.
What if it topped it?
What
would top it? Who out there in the college football world that December 1st, big pep rally at Bud Walton Arena, and John Calipari introduces Hunter Yurachek, and Hunter Yurachek introduces the next head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Who would it be that would top Cal?
I don't know. There's a lot of good ones out there.
What if Lincoln Riley didn't like the left coast as much as we hear?
Well, that would be that would certainly top.
What if?
Yeah, that would be huge. Be massive.
Would that top Cal?
I don't know if it would top Cal. It would certainly be close to Cal. Yeah, I think it could maybe top Cal. It'd be kind of like
after 1 year as head coach of the Washington Huskies, Jed Fish.
Ooh,
that didn't top Cal, but it's big.
But it'd be big.
Be a better hire than Lincoln Riley.
Sure, yeah. But the Lincoln Riley, that'd be like a trade, USC gets Musselman and Arkansas gets Lincoln Riley. That'd be fun.
And I throw Lincoln Riley's name out there with no substantiation, no corroboration whatsoever. I'm just
a name,
trying to come up with something blockbuster. And that's a person that has a great handle on NIL.
Absolutely.
And a great NIL budget at SC.
Sure does.
And that's what they're going to provide for the next guy. They don't want to hand it to somebody who goes, well, I've really never dealt with numbers like this.
Right.
No. We want somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what Arkansas is thinking.
Knows how to go out and get guys with that NIL money. But again, I mean, I was shocked when I saw Arkansas going to go after and get, John Calipari, and they're going to throw this amount of money at him. They're going to give him this NIL. And so now, honestly, now that I know, okay, they're serious about athletics now in terms of getting everybody invested, I would not be surprised at all. They could hire anybody. Nick Saban could come out of retirement and coach the Arkansas Razorbacks. I go, that sounds about right.
You're not the first one to mention that name.
Really?
I've got a text right now from a good friend of the show that just texted that.
Hey, great minds think alike.
2-3 year hitch? Nah, come on now.
I don't think it's very likely. But
20 million?
But again, nothing would shock me.
15, 18, 20 million?
Sure, why not? Nick Saban gets to retire live, so I don't really like this too much.
Put this in your quiver for 5:30 at What's Trending.
Okay, I will remember that. We'll come back to it. But let me set up
almost
show.
As big as those other numbers I sent you for 5:30 with college football revenue last year, or athletic department revenue.
But a large part of that is the football revenue. Some big numbers there. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Steve Macy, the Senior Director of Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. He'll join us like he does every Thursday, talk some Showboats. They're back in action Saturday morning against the St. Louis Battlehawks, so plenty to talk about when it comes to the Showboats. 3:45, we'll talk some more NBA, talk a little bit more about what happened last night in those two games, but then also the two games we have tomorrow to wrap up the play-in. We'll get to all of that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spa Track and the Front Office Show will join us. We'll talk a whole lot of NBA with him, obviously, what's happened in the play-ins, what could be shaping up in the playoffs. So a lot of good stuff with Keith coming up at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball. A lot of games already gone final or going final as we speak. Not a ton of action today, but we've got some really intriguing series taking place tomorrow and through the weekend. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston, he'll join us to talk some Tigers, and plenty to get to when it comes to Tigers. Spring game Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock for the basketball team. It is portal time as Penny Hardaway continues to try to fill out his roster for next season's team, and also the scheduling updates we've learned over this last week. Plenty to get to with Greg at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Get over to Family Leisure. They've got factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it, so buy now and get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Also, save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas, and special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens. But only at Family Leisure, 2120 Winton Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Johnny Hill, we're Sportstime, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and call line, and also all our guests will appear on that very same number, 901-360-8255 at the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but better yet, stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day has got to be the two play-in games that we had last night in the Eastern Conference. We started the night with Heat versus 76ers and start the game really back and forth, but then the Heat jump out to a lead and have a pretty good lead over the 76ers. I've heard a lot of people today, last night on social media, saying 76ers are dead, or at least they thought the 76ers were dead while they were watching that game. But out of nowhere, here comes Joel Embiid and that 76ers team. They climb all the way back, 30 points in the third quarter, 36 points in the fourth quarter to come back and secure a 1-point lead over the Heat. Now, a ton of questions for the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler going down with an injury, but not really going down. Everyone kind of noticed when it happened, but he played through it, and then we learn after the game that it's an MCL injury. Just blown away that he was able to play through that. Just shows how tough of an athlete.
Don't know
he is.
how smart that was.
Well, you're absolutely right. But
A for courage.
Sure, but you're right, because it could sit him on the bench for at least a game.
When
probably
heat rash knocks a lot of guys out now.
Oh yeah. But going back on everything I know about Jimmy Butler over these last couple years, especially since he's gotten to Miami with the Heat, seeing the headline of Jimmy Butler plays 3 quarters with an MCL injury doesn't surprise me at all. I mean,
Brian, I think I need the rest of the show off just for my MCL hurting, commiserating with Jimmy Butler's MCL.
I mean, but that's Jimmy Butler. As smart or not smart, I kind of agree with you on that. But he definitely is going to leave it all out on the court, and that's what he did last night, even though it resulted in a loss. I was talking earlier with Johnny Radio, and he brought up a good point that, especially late in that game, Joel Embiid kind of looked like he was really going through it, that he was getting really exhausted, really tired.
One leg.
Exactly. I mean, just coming back from that injury, and I think that is something to keep an eye on. It was his first game since returning that he's played more than 36 minutes, so he's still trying to get there. Conditioning, I think a couple days off is definitely good for him before they start their first series against the New York Knicks. And then that second game last night, Bulls and Hawks, it was all Bulls all night long. And I really got to give the Chicago Bulls a lot of credit, give Billy Donovan a lot of credit, because I remember a week or so before the trade deadline, all the rumors out there, all the stories out there were that the Chicago Bulls were going to blow this roster up at the deadline. They were trading everybody away, and they were going to go for a restart. They decided not to do that because of a couple injuries here and there. They kept this roster together, and they've played well. For Billy Donovan to keep his team locked in after rumors like that, to secure a play-in spot, and then to go out there and play like that. Kobe White was unbelievable, 42 points for him, but also Vucevic and DeRozan played really well also. So it was a great game for them. I'm excited to see what they can do tomorrow night against this Miami Heat team.
And had the building rocking in Chicago.
Sure did,
and,
absolutely.
And that hadn't been a lot of times through a lot of years lately. My top story, Trae Young out of the playoffs again. 6 years, one good run. Not much else. Won 2 playoff series, got to Eastern Conference Finals. He's had 2 coaches fired, too. 2 really good NBA men that he's had fired. The Hawks are 47 under 500 in his 6 years. They don't draw, they don't win, and they're stuck. Next year will be year 6 of Ja. The Grizzlies do draw. The Grizzlies aren't stuck, but we're finally drawing. But they haven't won much in his years in the postseason. We'll be talking about him after 6 next year. 21 over 500 in the Ja years. Now, he gets that this year that he didn't play in, but he's part of the team. Next year, right now, well, a lot of answers will unfold.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's finally official after the final game of the season for the Arizona Coyotes last night. They're on their way to Salt Lake City. It was made official this afternoon as
Did they really play at Mullet Arena?
They did, and
what a name!
They did. It's where Arizona State plays. It is called Mullet Arena. The first game they played last year, while they were trying to figure out where they were going to play, trying to get a new arena in the somewhere around Phoenix. The first game they gave away mullets, like mullet wigs for everybody in attendance.
You think me and Johnny should rock a mullet?
I think so. I think both of y'all could pull it off.
We could.
I think we could.
So I'll leave that for y'all. But last night it was very weird. I watched a lot of the
nature's kind of working on a mullet for me by accident.
I guess so. So maybe if you started, maybe it looked good. I don't know.
You got a lot more here than I do here.
That's right. So maybe we could work on it. I think it looked good on you, Brett. I really do. But last night was really weird watching that Arizona game. Last game, a lot of emotions. They get a win over an Edmonton team that really wasn't playing for anything. But after the game, just the emotions of the fans, the players, the people on that TV broadcast. It was really surreal to watch a franchise be completely done and on the move, and everybody there knows it. Players were out there for an hour after the game, maybe even more. I know they finished their post-game broadcast, and there were still players out there throwing hats and different things from the team store that they were bringing out, signing it, and just throwing it to the fans that were in attendance. So it was very weird to watch, and now we'll see what's in store for now the new Salt Lake City team going into next year.
I gave you the wrong name. I went to I said booking.com. I went to jobbing.com arena out by where the Cardinals play, the big toaster, as Chris Berman calls it.
Yeah.
And it's well removed from downtown Phoenix. My not top story, 1 week from now, until the draft hits in Motown, we'll have that in a week. The Lions de facto host. The Lions relevant. The Lions could have been in the Super Bowl last year, but the draft gives hope to all, like the Lions. The NFL will take over sports media next week. It will be their week. You can't do anything about it, and we're going to cover it and talk about it, but they will take over, and the ratings will draw big numbers. We've seen the Caitlin Clark effect. We know how she moved the needle during college basketball this year for the NCAA tournament, for what we think she can do for the WNBA. We know what the NFL can do.
Oh, yeah.
And they're getting ready to come in and take over.
They sure are, and that's going to be, wall to wall on ESPN. Every show from morning to night will be draft next week as we get closer and closer. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break, and when we come back, we're talking some showboats with Steve Macy.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
The founders of Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect neighborhood bar, like to say that Bell Tavern was created to be an adult bar. Obviously, you have to be an adult to drink at any bar, but at Bell Tavern, you are expected to act like one. You can always go to a bar at a chain restaurant to find people that feel compelled to shout when they've had a couple of cocktails and people that want to get wound up about something. Or you could tuck into Bell Tavern in historic Barbaro Alley in downtown Memphis and enjoy great drinks, great food, and great conversation. You know, like grown-ups.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. That traffic's already running slow over there on 240 East at Poplar. It's increasing with that traffic volume. 51 back up towards the Millington area. Still looks pretty good over here right now. I-40 as you get off there at Jackson, going outbound Austin P Highway. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. You can check them out right now at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now to talk some Showboats, Steve Macy, the Senior Director of Team Business and Event Operations for the Showboats. He joins us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Showboats, they're back in action Saturday morning. Another road game for them against the St. Louis Battlehawks. But it was a rough one for them last week, 33-14. Loss against the Stallions. The Stallions team that looks, I think, very clearly like if not one of the best teams in this league. But now another tough test against a good Battlehawks team where you know the fans are going to come out. They've had really, really good numbers in terms of attendance. But what kind of stood out to you in that loss for the Showboats team against the Stallions?
It was a tough day, obviously. I mean, it was. I think you look at the line play, and that kind of really dictated the game. We get sacked twice in the first series, and then it was kind of hang on. You know, we continued to battle the whole first half. We're within a few points at halftime, and then I think the second half, we had to get stops and couldn't get stopped, and it kind of just got out of hand there at the end. And I think one of the things that came out of that game was Coach got a chance to play Troy Williams, the backup quarterback, and got to see what he can do and give him a chance to play. And by that time, it was starting to get out of hand. But really, it's about keeping Case safe, or keeping Cook as safe at that point. He was taking a lot of hits, and there's some work to be done. And obviously, they came out of that. At the end of it, Coach talked about, DeFilippo talked about, we've got to protect the quarterback. We've got to get our offensive line gelling so that we can run the ball, so that you can protect them. And, right now, teams are able to just kind of pin their ears back and come after the quarterbacks. We really haven't been able to establish the run thus far this year.
Yeah, the Saturday was that game was just kind of the vicious cycle of when you can't run, you can't pass block. It makes for a long day. League-wide, though, another great TV viewing weekend with the ratings numbers for the UFL. And I was told that the atmosphere in Birmingham was really electric, and that was with losing a little bit of their crowd to the gigantic crowd for the Alabama A-Day game. So that's going well. Now, this week, who made up y'all's schedule? Or do y'all have friends in the league office, Steve, to get Birmingham and St. Louis in back-to-back weeks?
Really? We looked at this early on, and I think that's what made that 48 seconds so hard to stomach. Worse. St. Louis won one of those games the same way we lost one, which was they got the ball, scored near the end, got the 4th and 12, and went down and scored and won. And, that's really the difference between them being 1-2 and us being 2-1. I think we match up pretty well against St. Louis. Yes, it's another road game, and we start with 3 of our first 4 games on the road, and that's obviously difficult. But at this point, I think you say we've got to come up and win the next ball game. And once you do that, then you get rolling. And we've got 2 games straight at home, and we're kind of really focused on those home games here. In my staff is trying to keep them ready and rolling for that next home game.
And, Steve, in your title, that event operations, that covers a lot of years of experience. I wish I had $1 for every minute you've set in meetings on planning for a season or week to week for a game, or going to, I know a lot of event planners and game ops people meet in the summertime in kind of by regions in groups of, what one might be doing and what the other one could be doing and what's working well here, but it's not there. You've been in all those meetings, so I know everybody in the league has to be studying and examining St. Louis. All of that crowd can't be, we're madder than hell and we want to show the NFL. They're doing a lot right in St. Louis. I know you have taken a long look at that.
Well, and that has been a big part of it, and that's one of the things we look at is the scorned fan base and how do they react. And the St. Louis fan base has been scorned a lot with the NFL, and this is kind of their way of showing, one, that they love football, right? That they love professional football, and they're willing to absorb it in any way, shape, or form that they can get it. And I think part of it is they've just adopted it as a city and said, we accept this is our professional football team. We are excited that this is our professional football team. We want to support our professional football team, and we've seen it from, as I talked to my counterpart there, the number of media partners that they have that are investing in that for the purpose of it's good for the city. And the number of people that have said, hey, I accept this. I'm excited about this. And I think, I'm trying to figure out a way to convince our fan base the same thing, to convince our city that the Showboats are our team. This is our franchise. It's here to stay. We had Russ Brandon in yesterday, and we did a big thing with FedEx at FedEx Cares.
And it was terrific. I saw it on the news last night.
Yeah, so we had not just him, but several of our other brass were in town, and Russ is here trying to let everybody know that we're here for the long haul. And he and I spent a bunch of time in the car taking him to a couple of places, and we just talked about how do we build this for the long term? What are the things? And he said he was really glad to see here, the one-on-one conversations and hearing people's concerns of, we've been scorned before. We've had 6 attempts now at professional football in Memphis, and why is this one going to work? And I think we've all said the same things, is that this one's being built the right way. It's not just some person's money that's run in and dumped a bunch of money and says, I want spring football to work, and doesn't have a box behind it. It has some other money that's behind it, and this attitude of here to stay, make it sustainable, and do everything we can to grow the sport of football in the spring. And I think St. Louis has done, to go back to the original, has done a phenomenal job of connecting with their fans. This is your team. This is the team that you have. It's tier 4 St. Louis. That's my goal too, was to connect. This is our team. It's here to stay. How do we support it? What do we do to encourage you to convince you to play football here in Memphis, and it's not going anywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Talking to Steve Macy, the Senior Director of Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. And Steve, one thing I've noticed, and I believe maybe even the USFI, I'm pretty sure the XFL also, but it seems like on these broadcasts this year for the UFL, especially the ESPN broadcast, they're really integrating the gambling market with it. You see the total on the screen on the scoreboard at all times. They've got the team that's favored. It seems like all the analysts are kind of giving their plays, their picks for the game before it starts, and they're kind of keeping up with it throughout the game. What was kind of the big initiative from the league to kind of go into this gambling side of things in terms of broadcasting? And what do you think about it when you're sitting there watching some of these other UFL games?
Well, we sure are not shying away from it. We're not dodging or ducking that there's gambling going on in the games, and I think legal. Right, and I don't think we should either. It's legal. It's something that people are interested in, and we're trying to grow the game.
Yep.
And if that people's interest is grows because they have an opportunity to bet on the game, and we had a lot of conversation about this 4th and 12 thing, especially after it kind of bit us in the side and it hurt us. But I think what it's doing is it is keeping all football fans engaged. They may like that rule. They may, and maybe I don't like the rule. Maybe I think it ought to be 4th and 18, something that's harder. And really research and see if you want to have a success rate that's above 50, or whatever it ends up being at the end of the season. We need to evaluate that. But what it does, keeps teams in games. It keeps you engaged. I think there's others to be engaged on them. I'm worried about the over and the under, and who's got the point spread, and did I bet in the second half? There's a lot of those things that keep people's interest. And this league is about having fun, developing players and coaches, and giving fans an opportunity to have football in the spring instead of having to go 6 months without football or 7 months without football. This is an opportunity for them to have that. And so the goal here is to make it as entertaining, fun, and engaging as humanly possible for as many people as possible.
Steve, is any team locally owned now, even a portion with with Fox in New York? Does any team have a split of the pie?
No, all of the teams are still owned by the ownership group, which is Fox, and then The Rock and Danny, and then the principal group that's got another portion of it, that third of the half. And that's going to stay for a little bit. And until they feel like they're in a position where they can sell individual franchises. The concern is that when you've seen this in the past, either one person owned the whole league or they sold individual franchises, a franchisee starts struggling, isn't doing a good job, and then it hurts the whole league. The franchise is either being sold to another city, it becomes a fire sale, they aren't paying players, they're dumping their players, and so to control the variables, we're going to stay a centralized league until it's really, really stable to the point we feel like, okay, now we're in a position to allow there to be some local decisions made in regards to, A through Z in terms of how the team's going to be run, what the expenditures are going to be from a player personnel standpoint, how much they're going to pay coaches. Until we get to that point where it's really solid in each market, that's not going to happen. Now, yeah. I didn't see the merger coming the year it came. I thought it was going to be at least another year or two away. So, I could be wrong on this one, the time frame. But I think right now the idea is let's make sure that the league is solid, the teams are solid, and let's not put a team in jeopardy where we're having to say, hey, this team's going to go away because it's been mismanaged, because somebody bought it, they just did it as a hobby, and they weren't really good at it, which can happen. And so we're trying to avoid those pitfalls that we've seen in the past when spring football is fit.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it earlier, but this weekend, road game against the Battlehawks. But next week, a Sunday game, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock on Fox against the Panthers. Where can fans go ahead and start buying tickets for that one?
You can go to theufl.com, theufl.com. We've got $10 tickets, and this is going to be a really fun game. We're going to really do our best to honor the legend and the memories of Pepper Rogers and Reggie White. We tried to get through it last year. It was a little bit of a struggle just in terms of little ease between the USFL old and the USFL new. And so now we're in a position where I'm really excited that we can tie the past to the present. I think that's important for our fan base to kind of put a bow on it. We took the logo, we took the costume away. I think that, we've already lost Reggie and Pepper this earth, but I want to be able to honor that. I think there's important what professional football has been. And so, come join us. We're going to make a big celebration of those two guys.
Yeah, that's going to be a ton of fun. But, Steve, as always, thanks so much for joining us. And we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
All right, Brian. All right, Brett. Guys, appreciate it.
You got it. Good luck. Good luck this week. And we can't wait till next week. And they're honoring two greats, two originals, too. I mean, Pepper Rogers and Reggie White, their personalities, both bigger than life.
Sure.
Reggie White was bigger than life in size and stature and what he went on to in the NFL. And Pepper Rogers, I'm telling you, we if we had a lot more fighting for Memphis like Pepper Rogers did, we would be on even better footing. We're on good footing now, but even better. Pepper was out there fighting the good fight for a long time. At Jason's Deli, you got a lot of great locations, and I can assure you one very close to you, wherever you are in our area. If you're over on Ridgeway Road across from MUS, by the University of Memphis, at Poplar and Highland, out in Cordova, down in Olive Branch, and, of course, online at jasonsdeli.com. All those were great locations for great food that's healthy. First franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. It's all about choice at Jason's Deli, regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals. If you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build your own, you will be delighted at Jason's Deli. Over 200 area associates working hard for you in all these locations. Whether you're dining in to go or delivery for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they have it for all the catering needs you can ever imagine, 5 to 5,000. And I mentioned last week, we're getting close to the end of the year for graduation parties, for events to get together and celebrate the graduates. Let Jason's Deli take care of all the catering. In fact, they excel when you think you have waited too late to really hone in on it. That's where they say, step aside, we've got this. On the menu, all the salads like the Nutty Mixed Up Salad, the Big Chef Salad, the Chicken Caesar Salad, my favorite, the Taco Salad. all the meats, all the breads, all the spreads, all the cheeses that you love and enjoy, and plenty of organic food to choose from. And on that salad bar that's in every location, over 30 items for you to choose from to create your salad just like you want it. Prepare it however you would like it at Jason's Deli. The locations, Ridgeway Road, over at the U of M at Poplar and Highland, down out in Cordova, down in Olive Branch, and complimentary free ice cream in every location. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk some NBA with the play-in games last night. We'll wrap up the play-ins tomorrow night. We also have some Jimmy Butler news, so we'll talk all of that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You can't say that.
But it's true.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. You can get to any Central Barbecue location from anywhere in Memphis in 10 minutes, depending on traffic.
You made that up.
Try me.
Bartlett.
The Summer Avenue Central Barbecue.
Germantown.
Not Memphis, but the Poplar location.
South Memphis.
Downtown.
Olive Branch.
Again, not Memphis, but the South Haven Central Barbecue.
I still don't think you can say you can get to there any of them in 10 minutes.
Well, that's why it's depending on traffic.
All 650 acquisition V 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Jason, my main man, Marshall, what's up over there at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Well, Randy, we know the one size doesn't fit all at Gossett Volkswagen, so we've got a take your pick offer that covers all the bases.
Well, everybody I know, including me, loves choices. So, Jason, what do you got?
How about a 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport? Take your pick for $279.99 a month. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports. Or get a brand new 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for only $33,988. And no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
That's Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PS 695. Excludes stock final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we talked a lot about the NBA games from last night. They two pretty interesting games for different reasons, but we did learn after the game was over that Miami's Jimmy Butler had played through an MCL injury. Shams Charania tweeted earlier this morning that I guess I should go back to last night, where after the game he tweeted, Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler is feared to have an MCL injury in his knee. Sources tell The Athletic and Stadium the injury could sideline Butler for an indefinite period, MRI to come. Then this morning he followed that with, the expectation is Miami's Jimmy Butler will be out multiple weeks, sources said. Butler remarkably played the final three quarters versus 76ers last night with what is now feared to be an MCL injury. And now, just minutes ago, Shams Charania tweeting out that Miami guard Jimmy Butler will be out with an MCL sprain. So he'll be out tonight, and that is a massive blow to this Miami Heat team.
Tomorrow night.
Yes, tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Tomorrow night. Both games tomorrow night, and both
should be
both,
one tonight, but
right.
Whatever.
Both defeated teams tomorrow night done. Mm-hmm. Both winners play on Sunday. Either of the winner, any of the teams that win, can anybody really take a game against the Celtics or the Thunder? A game, never mind a series.
Yeah. I think Pelicans or Kings can take a game from the Thunder.
Could they take two?
I think so, yeah.
Oklahoma City look young, maybe a little skittish, playoff edginess, nerves.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think either one of those teams, I don't know if I want to say they can win that series, but they can
Celtics 4-0 hammer.
I think so. I don't have much hope for anybody against the Celtics in the first round. I should also add the Miami Heat have now tweeted out an update. Both Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier will both be out for tomorrow's night's game against the Bulls. So that backcourt is going to be very thin tomorrow night for the Heat.
It took me a while to notice it. How early in the game did Miami go to a zone?
It was early.
Was it really?
Yeah,
because it was a eureka moment for me. I went,
sure.
An NBA team in an important game's in a zone,
and 76ers had no idea. I mean, it was like they had that same reaction as, wait, they're playing a zone.
Did.
They're playing a zone.
It freaked them out. Do we have a zone offense?
Yeah.
Deploy the zone offense now.
They had no idea what to do, and that's, what really played a big role in the Heat getting that big lead.
I don't know that Bam Adebayo knew what to do in the zone.
Well, again, that's kind of the thing is nobody's running the zone. And so,
Brian, it's the classic line of the late Guy Lewis. It was colorful, but wasn't a great coach. Coach, if I slam a jammer. And late in that NC State game, Houston's ahead and kind of trying just to land the airplane and get their first title. And he called a timeout and said, "All right, guys, we're going to go in a four corners and work on the clock." And they said that Larry Mishaw said, "Coach, we ain't got one. We had practiced the four corners all year."
Oh, man.
He said, "Well, you know what to do in it. Just get out there and run it."
Sounds like maybe a similar conversation going on last night. with the Miami Heat. But, I mean, it worked. It worked early, but ultimately could not get the job done. Now, they'll be in a difficult situation tomorrow night. Again, without Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier for that game tomorrow night against the Chicago Bulls. And I'll be honest, I have been impressed these last 2 games, especially with what I've seen from this Chicago Bulls team. So can they pull another one out and get into that 8 seed? I guess we will find out tomorrow night. But let's go ahead and wrap up this hour, get to a break. When we come back, we're talking more NBA with Keith Smith.
Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville is now open and the ribbon cutting is April 25th. And Collierville Mugshots is giving away free burgers for a year, a $675 value, no purchase necessary. To enter, follow Mugshots Grill and Bar on Facebook. Like, tag 2 friends, and share. The lucky winner will be announced April 25th. Come by Mugshots Grill and Bar, 656 West Poplar for half-priced happy hour 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. Mugshots Grill and Bar, now open in Collierville. As always, having a good time.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
The good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
You can't say that.
But it's true.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't. You can get to any Central Barbecue location from anywhere in Memphis in 10 minutes, depending on traffic.
You made that up.
Try me.
Bartlett.
The Summer Avenue Central Barbecue.
Germantown.
Not Memphis, but the Poplar location.
South Memphis.
Downtown.
Olive Branch.
Again, not Memphis, but the South Haven Central Barbecue.
I still don't think you say you can get to there any of them in 10 minutes.
Well, that's why it's depending on traffic.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's starting to develop some volume over here at times on 240 East from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. You've got that slowdown waiting for you already this afternoon on 240 East there at Poplar. It's busy, but it's moving south of Memphis on 55 through South Haven all the way down into DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know Mother's Day's just around the corner. You'll be here before you know it. Go by and see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joins us now from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He joins us like all of our guests do on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Keith, thanks so much for joining us, and plenty to get to with all the play-in games we've already had, the playoffs coming up, wrapping up the play-ins tomorrow night. But I do want to start off with the latest update we got from the Miami Heat just about 15 minutes ago. Jimmy Butler has been diagnosed with a right MCL sprain. Both him and Terry Rozier have both been ruled out of tomorrow night's play-in game versus the Bulls. The big talk has been about Jimmy Butler suffered that MCL injury in the first quarter, but went on to play the rest of that game last night. What did you make of that situation, him continuing to play through an injury, and then also what does this mean for the Heat tomorrow night against the Bulls?
Yeah, to your first question, I get it, right? That was not I call those pseudo single elimination games. Because you do still have a chance to kind of get back in there. But I think it just shows the importance. Jimmy Butler knows, like, hey, trying to win that game and giving ourselves a chance to not have to go through the Celtics would have been huge for us. So he tried to gut it out and couldn't. And now it's, the reality is this is probably going to cost him the rest of his season. Even if the Heat win here, he's probably not going to be ready to go for the first round series. It sounds like this is going to be an injury that will keep him out for a few weeks. So we're just kind of down to it with these guys and not having now for tomorrow's playing game against the Bulls. It's an awful lot of pressure on Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo to try to create everything offensively for them. They just don't have a lot of guys who do a lot off the dribble and can create their own looks. They might have to go to Patty Mills, who did give them some good minutes in the regular season at times, but it's going to have to be a lot of Eric Spoelstra scheming for buckets and probably trying to turn this into like a 90 to 89 type of, messy, defensive battle. That might be the only real chance they have.
Wow. I've really been impressed with what I've seen these last two games from the Chicago Bulls. In that game Sunday, a game where it wasn't like the Knicks were sitting everybody and didn't care about it. They were trying to win to get a better seed in the playoffs, and the Bulls made it tough for them that afternoon in an ESPN game. And then last night, what they did against the Hawks. What have you made of what they've done? I was talking with Brett earlier about, I remember right before the trade deadline when there were all these rumors out there of, they're going to blow this team up at the deadline, and everyone's going to be traded, and they're just going to start over, tank this season, and regroup in the offseason. What have you made of what the Bulls have done this season with some injuries here and there to get into this position?
Yeah, anybody who said the Bulls were going to tank and blow the team up hasn't been paying attention under Jerry Reinsdorf's ownership. That's not something he does. Like he would rather have a team like this that is fighting to get into the 8th seed than a team that intentionally is losing games and bottoming out. It's also important to know the Bulls are his side fun winter project. His real thing is the White Sox, and it always has been, and it always will be at this point. So here we are with the Bulls. Though they played very hard in that game where they didn't have any reason to play anybody, and they pushed it. It sounds like it initially last night sounded like Alex Caruso was going to be, real doubtful to play with an ankle sprain. Now they're saying he may play. That's going to be huge because I think what you're looking at there is they're probably going to put Alex Caruso on Tyler Hero if Caruso can go and really try to choke off Miami's offense altogether. So it's going to be really, really fun, to get all these guys, seeing what it looks like. Now, it'll be fun for one more game. Neither one of these teams, banged up like this or limited as they are, is going to give Boston much of a run. And I'll use this as an opportunity to say, for the Celtics, this whole path has been as blown as wide open as it's ever going to be for them. And if they don't get to the finals, it would have already been a disappointment. I'll up that to say it will be a massive failure if the Boston Celtics don't make it to at least the NBA Finals.
Keith, that's really frank and candid and appreciated by you to say that about your beloved Celtics, because so often when we get through with the season and we ask people to label it, whether it's preseason expectations or you get to this point on playoff or in college football at bowl time or whatever it is, the easy word is, well, it was disappointing. No, sometimes it's abject disaster, and then sometimes it's total failure. This is the Boston Celtics. It's add to that collection or it is failure, and you were frank about it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, everything has been leading towards this for a couple years. And, they broke through a couple years ago. They lost to the Warriors, who, made what looks like was their final real run at this thing. And then when you get into last year, they did not finish the goal. Last year was a failure. They losing in the East Finals. But this year, this is the best they've been with this core group. This team is historically good. Anything but an appearance in the finals. And I always say that because in the finals, you're going to play another really good team. So I don't know that it's once you get there, I don't know that that's a failure if you lose the finals. Yeah, if you're up 3-0 and blow it, that's a problem. But I think, for them, this is what everything has been pointing towards. Everything they pushed towards was to get to this point. And it's important that they finish this job, because if they don't, at least get to the NBA Finals, they're going to have to really ask some major, major questions about, hey, is this kind of core group, are they ever going to get it done?
Anybody else playing to that lofty standard of don't win it, it's a failure. Some disappointing, some disaster. There's a lot of words we can use, but anybody else playing to the F word, failure. I got to clarify what the F word is, Keith.
Yeah, I won't use the other one here.
Thank you.
I'll keep
Thank you.
out of trouble. It's I don't think so. Not this year. Maybe the Bucks. Like the Bucks had clearly built what they believed was going to be a championship level team. Now their part is it went a little sideways because of the Giannis injury. We'll see what happens with that. And if there's an injury for Boston, obviously that changes the calculus. We'll have a different discussion if, some major key player gets knocked out for some reason. But in the West, all the teams they're trying to get there, and Denver did it last year. So you're clearly not going to be like, well, you stink, a bunch of bums blow the team up when they won a title last year. So I think it's Boston and Milwaukee. Those are the teams with the pressure, and to some extent, Philly has some pressure on them, but Philly at least is, hey, we're having to do this from behind. We're having to do this from the 7th seed because of the injuries that we had and the like. And then pressure of other varying degrees. I think the Suns are under some pressure because they're wildly expensive. So that comes with some pressure. Same for the LA Clippers. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are under pressure to have a successful postseason run because they're trying to keep Donovan Mitchell. So that's going to be a spot to see. So there's all kinds of different levels of pressure, but true failure if you don't win, it's Boston and then probably Milwaukee, the other team I would put in that boat.
I saw a lot of people last night after the 76ers beat the Heat kind of go out there. I think the betting markets opened up as the 76ers favored to win their series now set against the Knicks. A lot of people going out there saying this team's played really, really well since Joel Embiid returned. They were playing really well before he got injured. A lot of their struggles has been when he was out with that injury. What do you think about the 76ers' chances against the Knicks, and could they go on a run?
They can go on a run. I think calling them favorites over the Knicks is too much for me. That Knicks team is pretty tough, even without Julius Randle. So I'm not gonna, start proclaiming that Philly's definitely gonna win that series. Now, if Joel Embiid looked better, I'd feel a lot better about making that call that they're gonna win. I think the challenge is Joel Embiid did not look very good last night. He was not moving well at all. It looked like a guy who shouldn't be playing. And I bet if you could get Philly to be honest about it, if these were regular season games, they'd say, yeah, he wouldn't be playing. He wouldn't be out there. But on the flip side, Philly found in a game against another good team in Miami, Embiid didn't play well, Max didn't play well, and they won because they had a bunch of role players step up and have really good, solid performances. So I think that in itself can be huge. You've got to be a massive confidence boost. And for the big fella, he gets a few extra days off now. Not only did they win and not have to go to Boston, but they now get to go, through and play against New York, that is, a lesser team than the Celtics are, and they get a couple extra days off for Joel Embiid, where he can kind of get off his feet for a couple of days here before they open the series.
With the Jonte Porter ban from the league, and I thought the release and all the verbiage, it's a ban, but nowhere in it has it said lifetime ban. Keith, do you suspect that the league does not want to go out there with the Pete Rose, Bart Giamatti lifetime ban, Shoeless Joe Jackson lingo, for fear that the next name could be a superstar name, and they don't want to set that precedent of lifetime ban?
There could be something. I think it's more of it didn't need to be said. Like, I think it was probably a lot more of he's gone, and anybody else who falls in line behind him would, they're going to be in the same boat. Now, I will also say there was a point where, people were like, what if LeBron James did this? Well, what that completely misses is, let's play the hypothetical. What if I, build a house on the moon? Like, these are stupid situations that aren't going to be real things. So what ends up happening here is, I find it very hard to believe any superstar would ever do this, because one, they just don't need to. There's no reason why they would ever need to do it. That said, rich people do really dumb things all the time, so to get themselves in trouble. So I'm not going to completely rule it out. I'm not naive enough to believe John Porter is the first or the only or the last. Somebody else is going to run afoul of this and get themselves in trouble, and we're just going to. This is just a new part of the new world we're living in. All this.
Yeah. Talking to Keith Smith, he joins us every week to talk the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. Did we watch the end of the Warriors dynasty a couple nights ago in their loss to Sacramento?
I think we watched the end of the Warriors dynasty as we knew it, a year or so ago when they fell out in the playoffs. I think at that point it was they weren't going to get back to what they were. Now, I do think it's been a bit overstated where people are like, yes, they're just not a good team. Had Draymond Green not pulled some nonsense, and I get it, that's good luck with that happening. But this team won 46 games. Yeah. They'd had him for even a handful more games. They might be a 50-win team. And then the next thing you know, this is a team that is, they're not even in the play-in tournament. They're in the playoffs, and they're playing maybe a Minnesota team, and maybe they can beat them in the first round. So I think we've gone a little too far. I think the people, throwing dirt on Klay Thompson. This guy averaged 18 points per game and shot 39% from three. Like, he can still play. Stephen Curry can still play. But I do think you're going to see changes. I think you're going to see, my guess is Klay comes back, but on a very short-term contract with his salary reduced by about half. I think you're going to see, them try to make some other moves. I think Chris Paul will be gone, and that'll be the primary way they cut some salary, and they're going to look like a little bit of a different team. But, yeah, I think our days of talking about the Warriors as a 60-win title favorite, those days are certainly gone.
And it was a great run, but everything ends. And at the end of something, starts something else. And now I just don't think there's any way Joe Lacob's going to sit around and go, all right, that's it. We're going to waste the rest of Steph Curry and we're just going to twiddle our thumbs. There's just no way, Keith. They're going to try to make moves. And now my bigger question, I know the Olympics and I know next year. After next year, how much longer for Steve Kerr?
Yeah, that's going to be a good question. We'll see. We'll see what he comes back feeling like after the Olympics this summer, and is he feeling good after what's going to be a long time. I don't think people realize how condensed everything is this year. Now, I think it does help the Warriors, at least in that respect, of their season's now over, so they're going to get about a 2.5-month break. It'll be about the beginning of July when everybody's going to start to get back together for the Olympic run. But that starts at the beginning of July, and that goes to the middle of August. And then you come back, and you've only got a few weeks before everybody will be getting back together for informal workouts before training camp starts. So it's going to be a very bang, bang, bang summer where it's going to be playoffs, into the finals, into the draft, into free agency, into summer league, into Olympic stuff, and there's a lead up to the Olympics and all that. So it's going to be very busy. But I think Steve Kerr, I think he owned it when he said, hey, we're closer to the end than we are to the beginning, but it's there. I also appreciate what you said is everything comes to an end. I think about this all the time is if things were going great, they wouldn't end. And it's, when people like they end, why do they have to end when it gets bad? Well, if it was going great, nobody walks away. We all have the fairy tale of Michael Jordan, made that jumper to win the championship and walk off the court in Utah. And guess what? Came back and played, for the Wizards a couple years later. But the only guy that I can truly remember that won a title and then walked away fully, that was Tim Duncan. Like, he pretty much said, all right, did everything I wanted to do. I'm out of here. Off I go. And he called it a career. And even some of those guys still hung on after that one. So it's just, that's why it ends, is because it doesn't end, with everybody at the top of their game.
Nick Saban retired for a reason. We know we're at the end of Tiger. Probably been at the end for years now with Tiger. John Calipari even left Kentucky. It ends, and you got to reboot when that happens. All right, in 2028, and I don't know who made the decision with USA Basketball way back when, after 2004 and losing to Manu Ginobili and Argentina in the Olympics, but they said, all right, enough's enough. We're going to get this right. We're going big brain, and they put Mike Krzyzewski in charge. Do you think for 2028 they might go back to a college figure because it's so condensed and it is so very harried and busy for the NBA guy?
Yeah, that's interesting. They might. I could see them maybe trying to see. I think the question would be, who is it going to be? Who wants to step forward and take that? There was a long thought process out there for a number of years. It was kind of almost open secret. It felt like it's going to be Pop, then it's going to be Steve Kerr, and then they're going to hand the reins over to Brad Stevens. Well, Brad Stevens isn't coaching anymore, and I don't know that he's going to make his return to coaching to coach Team USA. Certainly not while he's trying to run the Celtics front office. The timelines just don't work for those kind of things. So I kind of wonder, do they do that, or do you go to someone like Eric Spoelstra and say, hey, you've been, one of, if not the best NBA coaches for years. We'd love to have you, run this, because it's certainly something where, as much as it's a time commitment and it means all this stuff, these guys don't turn it down when the opportunity comes.
Right. That'd definitely be interesting. Looking at the NBA playoff bracket, what first-round matchup really intrigues you that you're just excited? I can't wait to see that one play out.
If you went to all seven, if it goes seven, what series? Same thing I was going to ask, Bryant. I swear.
Yeah, I think Clippers Mavericks. I think is the one I'm really fired up for. Provided we get Kawhi Leonard can be Kawhi Leonard. I think that's just going to be an absolutely phenomenal series where you've got so many great players on both teams, and there's no love lost between those guys. It's funny. There seems to be like a Mandela effect going on, that is the Mavericks have knocked the Clippers out of the playoffs. It hasn't happened. Clippers won both times they played in the playoffs, so I'm not sure where that came from. I'm guessing it came from that bubble series where it felt like Luka won the series, but he didn't. So I think that's the one that just feels like, oh man, this should be beautiful. But honestly, other than the two number one seeds, who I think are going to make fairly short work of their opponents, I think we're in for some really good series in just about every one of these on both the East and the West side.
Here for the Grizzlies, with your national perspective, Keith, what do you want to see the Grizzlies really getting right between now and September 1 when camp starts to try to open?
Yeah, I'll give you my blue sky version that I don't think is going to happen. I would love to see them put some of those contracts together with some of their draft picks and go get one more true big time guy. Now, I don't know who that is. I don't know who's going to be available on the trade market, but if you could get one guy that you could say, here it is, this is the net, he's going to pair with John Morant and Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr., and this is our, fourth major guy, and we're going to go into the tax and all that stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think what I want to see him do is get a young big that can grow with this group. I think I've said it before. They took these lemons of this season. They made some lemonade. They found a couple wins. Gigi Jackson and Vince Williams Jr. can play, and that's going to be big for them moving it forward. I hope for better health and no foolishness that keeps anybody out for any other reasons, and get yourself a big you can develop that can play alongside Jaren Jackson Jr. I fear for them that a guy like Donovan Clingan might have played himself out of their range in the draft. I thought he would have been kind of perfect for them, but that's what I'd be looking forward to. And you don't need to get crazy. You have the players. You just need to play. And as long as they play, Memphis is going to be right back there. It's going to be one of those almost where I have a feeling there's a world where we're talking about Memphis improved by 20 wins over last season or whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, just because all the guys who were really good were really good again. Like, it's not that they
Taylor Jenkins is coach of the year.
Yeah, we could be, right? And it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, yeah, but that might be one where, not that we put an asterisk, because I don't believe in asterisks in sports, but we just put a footnote to remind everybody, hey, they had the season from heck the year before, and the wheels fell off, and everything that could go wrong did, and now here we are. So, yeah, I think they're going to be really, really good. And I don't want them to get too crazy and do something reckless that hurts their ability to build this team out down the line.
Yeah. Last thing for you, Keith. You mentioned Donovan Clingan, obviously one of the more talked about draft prospects in this upcoming draft, but it was reported about an hour ago. Within the last hour, Reed Sheppard from Kentucky has officially made his decision. He's going to enter the draft. Where do you see him going in this draft, and do you have a team that would be a perfect fit for him?
Yeah, and part of that obviously will depend on where do the draft picks land with the lottery. But if we went kind of, in order, I think he'd be a really good fit in Detroit. Not that I would take him number one overall necessarily, but I think they could use just another shooter, anybody who can help come in and open up the floor. There's a world I think he could be a really nice player for San Antonio. I think San Antonio needs a little bit more of a true on-ball, full point guard creator, playmaker type. But yeah, he's a guy I think Memphis could use him. That if they could get a guy like him, that could give you the ability to see what you do with a guy like Luke Kennard. Do you need him? Is that now we've got too many guys that overlap positionally? But I think Reed Sheppard's going to be a good player because he can shoot, and if you can shoot, that kind of solves a lot of things for a lot of teams.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Obviously, more and more people are going to be talking about that draft.
Saturday and Sunday's made for you.
Sure is.
Oh, yeah. It's two of my favorite sports days of the year. It's
fun.
Right up there with it's right up there with the first couple, rounds of the NCAA tournament. I mean, my family knows from noontime on each day.
Shut down.
Good luck. You're not getting anything out of me. If I'm getting up out of the recliner, it's to get a snack, and that's about the extent of it.
If I have the ever so slightest complaint, and it's ever so slight, in Central Time, why are we waiting till noon? Let's get started at 11 Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Too. I find myself I tend to be a more early riser, so when I get up, I'm like, all right, where's it at? But I'm sure I'll find a soccer game to watch until then to fill up the morning and we'll go, and then it'll be ready to go. I do kind of like, at least I can get lunch out of the way, and then plop down for the next, let's say 10, 11, 12 hours or so.
Sounds like a good weekend. Keith, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Keith. Keith Smith, he joins us every single week from Spot Track and the Front Office Show to talk the NBA. And perfect time to talk the NBA with all of these series getting ready to start. And it's going to be really exciting to see how these NBA playoffs play out.
Saturday is fun. 12 Central, 2:30 Central, 5 p.m. Central, 7:30 Central, and right back on Sunday with 12, 2:30, 6, and 8:30 trying to catch the big Sunday night TV crowd. Sunday night's magical. Saturday night's not as much.
No, not as much. But you're right. That Sunday night, that's when you can get a whole lot of eyeballs, and that's certainly what they're going to be trying to do this weekend.
Brian, we keep filing away stuff for 5:30 during what's trending.
Yeah.
Let's come back to Reed Sheppard, because remember, I was adamant this year when you had many, and I thought it was a Kentucky egomaniac-driven, we're Big Blue Nation, that this is the test case. This is the one. We're going to show everybody we can keep. Not a chance, especially not a chance with him in the lottery. I would even go down to 25 in the 20s. Right. In the 20s, he wasn't doing that because it starts the clock. It starts the march to the next contract and into the retirement, all those goodies. Kentucky can't pay that. Heck, maybe Arkansas can now, but Kentucky can't pay that. And now you're going to get this from people defending Kentucky. Well, he'd have stayed if Cal had.
Ah, yes. Of course.
You go right ahead and double down on that idiocy.
Sure, yeah. So that's interesting. We'll definitely come back to Reed Sheppard as he announced his decision to declare for the draft, and from all accounts, he will be selected probably pretty high in this year's draft. Let's go ahead and get to a break. Not a very busy slate in Major League Baseball today, but a lot of good storylines from today and going into this weekend. So we'll talk some baseball next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is Kiari Kane, the point guard at the University of Memphis women's basketball team. Do you like to be rewarded for shopping? Are you looking to transfer your high-interest credit card balances? For a limited time, you can transfer your balance to a Southern Security Rewards Visa and get $2 for each dollar transfer on your balance. Plus, no balance or transfer fees. Do not miss out. Apply today. Southern Security is a proud supporter of University of Memphis Athletics and 901 Women. Southern Security, your home team credit union.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of Cashew Crunch, of Heavenly Hash, of Turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
All 650 acquisition, B30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're trying to clear up some police activity that's been going on over here for a while on 240 westbound at Getwell. Of course, it's really heavy in the eastbound lanes right now on 240 east from Getwell all the way out to 385. That slowdown's waiting for you over here on 240 east up by Poplar. It's building out here where you would expect this time of the afternoon, going south of Memphis down 55 down through South Haven. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your Mother's Day headquarters. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and Major League Baseball, a very slim slate today because travel day for most of these teams as they get ready for the weekend series. But some interesting games earlier today. I think the one with the most intrigue, though, was the Rangers and Tigers game. Jack Leiter, who pitched close to here in Vanderbilt, was a top
Commodore.
draft pick. Yeah, that's right. Him and Kumar Rocker on the same team together, and high draft pick, has been in this Ranger system for a couple of years. He made his debut today. First inning, super solid. 2 strikeouts, got a fly out, but then the second inning was really when he started to fall apart. They left him in there. His final stat line, 3.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. So not the debut Jack Leiter wanted, but the Rangers do get a win 9-7 in the high-scoring affair against the Tigers.
I guarantee you, Al Leiter, his dad was there. They said he didn't miss a game, a practice, a stretch, a workout, nothing. Most of his baseball life, especially after Al Leiter's career was over. Al Leiter, a good lefty. Jack Leiter is going to be a good righty.
Yep.
They got him in there now. The Tigers' young pitcher from Auburn, Casey Mize, he pitched a couple of days ago. That's a lot of people in the SEC got to see a lot of now already in the show, and they had show stuff in college. But a wild win for Texas State. If I had to, I'm going to have you do it right now. I know sample size is fairly small. Give me your top line story so far, about 20 games in of baseball.
Oh, geez.
I mean, we just got our toe in the water.
I think Soto to the Yankees has been a fun story. Has kind of hit the ground running there. Man, wow. I mean, talk about a hard one. You just threw this one at me.
I'm sorry, that is
good.
Tough.
You're good. What comes to your mind?
The dominance of the AL East, and a perfect time for me to pat myself on the back.
Okay.
It's the whole reason I asked the question, Brian.
I love it.
I kid. No, I had Yankees winning that division with Orioles and Rays punching a ticket.
Yeah.
So 3 out of the 5, they could get all the wild cards.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you look at what the AL East is doing right now, and you've currently, obviously still very early, 4 teams over 500 right now, and Boston sitting right at 500. So, I mean, they have been playing some really good baseball. The Yankees, I mentioned, adding Juan Soto, they have been playing extremely well. Baltimore, with those young players that they have and plenty more to come, they're playing really well, and you kind of know what you're getting from Tampa. But Tampa kind of been its own story with their bullpen. It's been really, really bad this year.
They win today 2-1, and I was going to say before I looked at the box score and saw that crowd today, the crowds had been a little bit better. The bridge can't be any better, can it?
Well,
same bridge, isn't it?
From what I've heard, look, I've never seen this bridge. I've never been to this bridge, but
man.
the stories
It's
I've
something.
heard about this bridge, it's something.
But crowds a little better today, not as much. Used to, when you would see a division get off this kind of start, you would say it can't last because they're going to play each other so much that they'll just chew on each other. Not that way anymore. The schedule is not like that. You don't play in the division like you used to with constant interleague play, just in perpetual motion. So you could have 4 teams 90+ wins.
Yeah, no, you absolutely could. I mean, you look around. I don't think there are a ton of teams that right now, obviously still very early, scare you for a wild card spot. I mean, you got the Angels hanging around in the West. I don't think they're going to hang around. They're haven't been playing great. They're under 500. Kansas City, I think maybe could hold on. I don't know how likely I see them.
Feels like one
on
out of
all
the
year.
Central, though, whoever wins it.
Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, I like this Detroit team, but I don't think they get a wild card spot. It feels like AL Central, whoever wins. I think maybe if the AL West, you could see Seattle and Houston maybe start turning things around. But yeah, you're right. I mean, right now, AL East has been extremely impressive.
So when Keith Smith was explaining about Jerry Reinsdorf in his worldview on running the Bulls and running his beloved Chicago White Sox, that all the decisions really have always been made first and foremost about the White Sox.
Sure.
What were you thinking when he was saying that?
I almost blurted out. I really did almost blurt out. Well, maybe he should change that because he has completely run the White Sox into the ground right now.
I was thinking of your brother.
Yeah,
I was thinking
I was too,
of let Connor know that he's conscious.
Yes.
So you're trying to tell me a guy that's off to a 3-15 start, and the White Sox really, a couple years with Tony La Russa and a couple years before that, but since winning it in 2005. They hadn't really scared anyone, so that's what you're concentrating on?
Yeah. See, I am unfortunate enough to
right, we're around each other too much.
Well,
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, and I'm unfortunate enough to where I either watch enough White Sox games or every time I come in the house, my brother is hitting me with, man, did you see what happened to the White Sox today? Hey, did you hear the move they're making? Hey, this, that. And so I know a lot about what's happening with the White Sox, and it's nothing pretty.
I like the idea of the White Sox, and I would love it if they would just this won't get me in trouble, will it?
I don't think so.
Okay. And I don't know the technical term. I think it's Gothic right now for the socks on the hat.
Yeah.
I wish they would go back to the block.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I loved it when they made that move to the kind of black and white pinstripe look of the White Sox. They even had a great red look, red uniform look.
Interesting.
Late 60s, early 70s, Tommy John, the rotund Woody Fryman, Goose Gossage and company.
Wow, interesting. I was not familiar with the red.
Oh, did you know Tommy John was with the White Sox?
Well, Brett, honestly, I did not. So learning a lot today. But yeah, they've not been good this year. I am excited. I mentioned not a lot of games today. I am excited for some of these matchups over the weekend. A lot of them starting tomorrow. All of them, I guess, starting tomorrow. But this Brewers and Cardinals series obviously will be the one we're paying attention to the most. And Brewers been pretty good to start the season.
And Brian, I threw Woody Fryman in there. I meant Wilbur Wood. I'm kind of rotund shaming, and I got the wrong guy in there. I'm sorry.
It happens.
To the Woods and to the Frymans out there. One rotund guy,
sure.
And you can't tell the difference, can you? No. Why does this weekend? I don't want to overdo it, but why does this weekend for the Cardinals? You really want to see? You want to see them compete?
Sure.
2 out of 3 here, okay.
Sure.
If not, certainly a sweep. What's changed?
I think
You have that feeling about this weekend?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, at least to me, has to do with the fact that they're back at home. You know, they've now played these back-to-back series on the road.
Cardinal fans are running a testy too.
Yeah,
over the bits, maybe needing more money for the ballpark and just things. And Brian, is this the weekend they break out the city uniforms?
No, I think that.
Or is it later?
I think it's like beginning of May or like kind of early in May. I don't think the city.
Please don't tell me why I'm there against the Red Sox.
I would have to look up a date, but it certainly could be
then
around there.
I completely blow. I text
tweeted,
you and Johnny.
I think they tweeted something out
I've lost
today
it.
about City Connect in terms of like either when they were going to announce it or when they were going to play in it. And
I thought I saw City Connect announcement too somewhere today, just out there scrolling through the X.
Yeah. I think
I lose my mind.
Oh, absolutely.
That's when I lose it, Johnny. I won't have a chance. Y'all won't be able to bail me
Brett,
out.
you good. You don't be losing your mind.
No, I'll lose it, Johnny.
He'll lose it.
I'll lose it.
I've got your answer
Because
for you.
I can tell you now what I'm going to say. You have one of the most distinguishable looks, brands in the history of Americana.
Yeah.
Corporate, anything, sport, anything. See, I'm losing it now. Just thinking about City Connect. I hadn't laid eyes on them.
So I'm happy to report that you will just miss it. They are going to launch it, so we'll, I guess, see it for the first time on May 20th. When that day they play.
I'm out of there the 19th.
Right. So
they have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday against Baltimore.
That's right.
That's Affiliates Day. I was invited to go, even though we're not an affiliate. I always get invited to Affiliates Day.
Yeah. So they're going to be debuting it on that Monday, and then they're launching it on that Monday. First time they wear it, they'll be debuting it that Saturday, May 25th against the Cubs.
Help me with the terminology. Launch. Does that mean hit the team store?
I believe so. I'm not super clear on it. I would think so. But certainly you'll definitely see it by May 20th. Either launch means they're just going to show it to you. You'll see the pictures of it, video probably, yada, yada, yada. Or it means you can actually go buy it, and then they'll be playing in it on May 25th.
Chance of 1 to 10. 10 a virtual lock, the surest thing ever. 1, no shot, never. That I will love the City Connect uniforms.
I think it's pretty grim. I'll sit it at like a 3.5.
Boy, that's kind, Bryant. That is really kind.
I'm trying.
Johnny,
there's been some good City Connect jerseys, but I know in the past.
I've never laid eyes on one.
I was about to say, in the past when I brought up, Brett, I kind of like the City Connect jersey.
I almost can take the Rockies.
Yeah.
I like the Rockies.
Yeah.
Rockies are
I like
good.
theirs.
I almost can. Okay, it's the Rockies. In fact, that's what I said when I saw them. I went, it's the Rockies. Who cares?
I personally like the Mariners jersey. I hate.
I like the Mariners jersey.
I hate that they wear the blue pants with it.
Yeah, the blue pants don't. The blue throws it off. It throws it off.
What is that canary yellow the Red Sox break out?
I don't like that.
I don't know what they thinking with that one. I don't know what they was going for.
I mean, let's see here. The name of the team is Red Sox, and we break out canary yellow. Count me as confused.
Yeah, I'm thrown off too, Brett.
I'm bewildered. This is my bewildered face.
I'm trying to think of some of the other City Connects. I stood on an island because I know
Cubs atrocious.
The Cubs are awful. I stood on an island because I like the Reds City Connect jersey a lot, and I had a bunch of friends. I am alone. I have a bunch of friends that are Reds fans, and they were all like, they're hideous.
You're Tom Hanks after the jet goes down.
Yeah,
You're way out
that's
there.
That's me.
It's you in a volleyball.
Volleyball. Me and the Reds jersey. Just the City Connect jersey sitting out in the middle of nowhere. But
you know what? That team store.
Sure.
And this is not to appeal to me.
That's right. So hey, maybe you'll like it. I doubt it, but you never know. We'll just have to wait and see. About a month.
That's when I wear my traditional Cardinal hat every day during the City Connect uniforms.
That's right. As a revolt of the City Connect uniforms. I love it. That might, if there's no chance you make it that long, But if
There's
you
no
do...
chance.
If you do wear your traditional Cardinals hat in rebellion of City Connect uniforms, I might be crossing.
We
the line.
get swept by the Brewers. I lose it.
Well, absolutely. And I'll be honest, I've been impressed with what Milwaukee's done. So I wouldn't put it past them. But it should be a really fun weekend. I know Justin Verlander going to make his season debut tomorrow night for the Astros, so that'll be good for them as they kind of need something to break their way. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out with Corky. Hi, this is Jimmy Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out with Corky.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition B, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Hernando, Little Rock, and Cleveland, Mississippi specializes in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Is your home screaming for an upgrade? Listen closely, because Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing is about to make your day. First up, say goodbye to cold showers and hello to endless hot water with our tankless water heater upgrade. Not only does it save space and energy, but it also keeps the hot water flowing exactly when you need it. And here's the kicker. Switch from your old tank to a sleek, efficient tankless water heater now, and Choates will hand you a $500 credit. Yep, you heard that right. $500 back in your pocket. But wait, there's more. Clogged drains are a hassle no homeowner wants to deal with. With Choate's special offer, get your drains cleared for just $93, or it's absolutely free. That's our guarantee to make it drain, or you don't pay a dime. So why wait? Call Choates today at 347-8086 or visit us online at choateshvac.com. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or 2024 Tiguan S, or 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for $33,988. So get it done and be ready to ride at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 23649, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, we were talking about the play-in games earlier, and I thought both games really fun for different reasons last night. You had, obviously, what happened in that first game where it was really back and forth, really competitive, and that was obviously a lot of fun. But also you had that second game where I was really impressed with what the Bulls did against that Hawks team, a 131-116 win. So my big number comes from that game, and it comes from Kobe White, who had just a massive game for the Chicago Bulls. So my big number is 42. That's how many points Kobe White finished with, 42 points, and I found this stat earlier today. Kobe White in last night's game scored more than 40 points, grabbed more than 5 rebounds, dished out more than 5 assists, and shot 70% from the field. He did all of that in 43 minutes with 0 turnovers. No other NBA player has done all of those things, 40-plus points, 5-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists, 70% from the field, and 0 turnovers in a play-in or playoff game since turnovers were first tracked in the 1977-78 season. So an unbelievable night for him.
It was, Brian, in a few years. You know how sometimes you and maybe some conspiracists can be dubious skeptical on Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. You say, prove it?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be able to say to prove it on that because the game doesn't count. It doesn't. It doesn't go anywhere in the record book.
I mean, that is a
great point, Brent. That's a great point.
Prove it. Prove he did it.
Wow. I mean, I'm stuck. I have nothing to say.
Because you have no more than I do on Wilt's 100. I can say I got Wilt's box score.
Hey, that's all we need, Brent. I believe.
Well, I'm glad you do believe.
1962, Wilt in Hershey, PA. My big number is 23. 23 years in Memphis for the Grizzlies. Sadly, unfortunately, not in the playoffs this year. But 13 years in Memphis, we've been in the playoffs. 13 out of 23. I've said it a million times. I think I'd have signed up in blood with the Pursuit team when we were talking about being in the NBA. Hey, Brett, in 23 years, we're going to make it 13 times or a 565 percentage of appearing in the playoffs. Here's the GMs that have led to playoffs. 5 for Chris Wallace, 3 for Jerry West, 3 for Zach Kleiman, and 2 for Jason Levy. And Chris was kind of in there with Jason Levy and then, but was in the penalty box. Right. So I'll judge fairly. You could really say 7 for Chris, but I'll say 5, 2 for Levy, and 3 for Kleiman, 3 for Jerry West. It's got to be 4 this time next year.
You're right about that. Absolutely. I mean, we've talked about it, and I think that conversation is only going to grow as the offseason goes on. You know, once you see what they do in free agency, once you see what they do with the draft, that's
and I believe they will.
I do as well. I mean,
and won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like we were just talking about at the beginning of this hour with Keith Smith when we were talking NBA, and he said we could look up next year and we could be talking, the Grizzlies have
25 game
there
improvement.
by 25 games, right? And I think a lot of people would say, okay, that's what was expected because they got all those players back from injury. So I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around next year's team and maybe even more excitement because of what this year became.
I hope that's the Grizzlies' attitude as they're marching to that, and they're like, why are you surprised?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's the fuel, that's the motivation of, we're not at all surprised by this. Now let us show you what we're going to do in the playoffs.
That's right.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
We got to have that, and we got to have playoff success. Because this weekend, if you're one of the preferred seeds, we'd be hosting a game Saturday, Sunday at FedEx Forum.
That's right. Get those towels out and get them waving and downtown. I mean,
get it going.
One of my favorite times of the year going downtown for a playoff Grizzly game. So
one of my favorite things. Don't ask me why. Is kind of Kentucky Derby Saturday afternoon.
Okay, yeah.
Is that 1-ish, 2 o'clock-ish type Grizzlies playoff game, and we rush from there to somewhere to watch the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, well, I love that.
That was
awesome.
that was when the Sam Young game day against Oklahoma City back in 2011 during the flood.
Wow, how about that? You rush out of there and watch the Derby. How about that? So hopefully next year we'll be doing that, and I think we definitely will be. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up this hour, get to a break, and when we come back, we're switching gears. We're talking all things Tigers, and not many people better to do it with than Greg Gaston. We're talking Tigers next.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Mugshots Grill & Bar in Collierville is now open and the ribbon cutting is April 25th. And Collierville Mugshots is giving away free burgers for a year, a $675 value, no purchase necessary. To enter, follow Mugshots Grill & Bar on Facebook. Like, tag 2 friends, and share. The lucky winner will be announced April 25th. Come by Mugshots Grill & Bar, 656 West Poplar for half-priced happy hour, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. Mugshots Grill & Bar, now open in Collierville. As always, having a good time.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. What a great time to buy a new or used car or truck and save money at Sunrise. The largest selection in over a year, over 500 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from, an $8 million used car inventory. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Factory rebates up to $6,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $10,000. Immediate financing available with loans low as 0% on select models. Cars and trucks under $10,000. When it comes to selection and savings, it doesn't get any better than this, partner. Come on in and save some money at Sunrise. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still heavy traffic over here on 240 eastbound, trying to get past Poplar. It's been pretty interesting here the last 15-20 minutes on 240 going eastbound from Mill Branch, trying to get out to 385 Bill Morris Parkway as it cranks up even more out of Midtown with that traffic volume, especially on 240 south from Union all the way down to Norris. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's got to be Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. You can listen to him every single morning with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. Plenty to get to on the Tigers. Spring game on Saturday. Tiger basketball offseason rolling right along. But I do want to start off with the basketball team and their latest addition. Colby Rogers out of the portal from Wichita State. Penny Hardaway goes out and gets a scorer that takes a lot of threes and makes a lot of threes. One of the top 25 in terms of three-point percentage last year at Wichita State. What did you make of that addition by Penny Hardaway?
Well, first of all, good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on once again. And a selfish plug that Colby Rogers will join us on mornings tomorrow at 8:30.
Right.
So
yes.
He is scheduled to join us, and hopefully
we'll be listening.
that will come to fruition. Thank you, guys. I think it's a strong pickup because they absolutely, well, they need a lot of things, but they absolutely need shooters. And this guy shoots a high volume of threes, and he makes, as you said, Brian, he makes a high volume of threes. So this is a good shooter. He's a scorer. He was very good for Wichita State. Now, Memphis didn't do too well with their last guy that they got from Wichita State, which was just a year ago. Unfortunately, Jaquan Walton didn't become the player they thought he would be, although very talented and heralded coming in. Hopefully that won't be the case with Colby Rogers, that he will be able to contribute and contribute big right away.
Greg, we're looking at this kind of jigsaw puzzle really starting to form for Coach Hardaway, both on the court and with the scheduling. We'll get to scheduling, but I want to stay with the personnel. I like everything that's been done so far. One thing I want, and it might be one of these guys, because I don't know that we knew the defensive stopper last year on the day the news of Caleb Mills transferring into Memphis. So it might be one of these guys, but I want some attention to defense too.
I don't think there's any question that Penny is very concerned with that after what happened last year. And you mentioned the Mills injury, and certainly that was a major blow to the team. But overall, defensively, it was a step backwards from what his teams have done since he took over. That's a big emphasis for Penny. So when you look at what they've gotten so far, especially a P.J. Haggerty, who is a really good all-around player and a defensive stalwart, I think there is certainly going to be that emphasis as he continues to fill the roster. He's got a long way to go. Danger is a good defensive player. I don't think he's a great defensive player. They're going to have to get more size to go along with him on the front line. I know he's a big guy, but you always need more than just one. But I think you're right, Brett. The emphasis should be, and it probably is, from Penny Hardaway on getting guys that not only fit the system where he sees that they have chemistry or thinks they will have chemistry, because you have to develop that. These are all new guys, but certainly that are guys that are very concerned with playing both ends of the floor, if you will, meaning playing defense. I don't think you will have what we saw last year in the ineptness at times playing defense.
Coach Hardaway was not the only coach last year that it felt like he was sick of them and they were sick of him. It felt like that for a lot of teams in the area. I think by the end of the year, Ole Miss had that with Chris Beard, with his players, and maybe some of them looking back at him like that. Eric Musselman at Arkansas, a lot of people sure thought that. I think the common denominator with all three of those local coaches, Musselman, Hardaway, and Beard, is that that wasn't the defensive pride that they expect.
It's frustrating, right? It's frustrating when you don't see the emphasis being put on that side of the basketball.
Because you can always do that. You can always hustle and play defense.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. If you're not a talented player that struggles a little bit with the shot, maybe not a good handler of the ball, penetrator of the basketball on offense, if you are playing stone cold defense, you're going to find your way on the court. You're going to be able to help out a team. So when you go in with a philosophy like Penny did, like Chris did, like Eric did, they expect that certain guys were going to be able to step up defensively for them. And when it doesn't happen, it's absolutely frustrating. And we see more of that in today's day and age. There are guys out there that do want to play because they know if they're going to play professional ball, especially at the highest level, the NBA, they're going to have to really excel defensively. You see a lot of guys on Kelvin Sampson's team over the years since he took over that play defense. That's an emphasis. But just because a coach emphasizes it doesn't mean that those players will follow suit. Sometimes it's a lack of effort, and that's what's going to drive them crazy more than anything. Other times it's just they're not as talented, or maybe it wasn't what they thought they would be on that end. So I think it's a conscious effort from those three, but all coaches around the country to find players that are willing to put the hard work in on that end. The non-celebrated end of the basketball is playing on that end defensively, trying to stop the other team. Anybody and their mom can shoot a basketball or at least try to shoot a basketball. It's playing defense that you have to find those particular players.
And we talk about kind of the guys that he's looking at, the reports that are out there on social media, and we've got a couple really great beat writers here in the city that have, I think, done a great job this offseason and previous offseason kind of keeping fans updated on what guys are visiting, what guys Memphis is involved with. But right now it seems like it's very guard heavy. You see the guards that have committed, a lot of guards that are supposed to or have visited, but it doesn't seem like a lot of big men. We know Dane Danger has committed, but still a big hole in the front court when it comes to guys down there. Do you think Penny Hardaway's trying to wait and maybe see if guys withdraw from the draft or just waiting for maybe a couple more big men that he thinks are those quality bigs to plug in, enter the transfer portal? Or do you think it's just he's trying to address, he thinks that biggest need is guard, he's trying to address that first, and then you'll see him go after those big men, and you'll see more big men visiting on campus?
Yeah, it's a good question, Brian. I'm not really sure. I do think there's more of a rhyme and reason of how he's trying to get his roster put together this year as opposed to last year. We've talked about it for several weeks now that last year it looked like he was just going out to get the best talent. But as far as the bigs, I mean, he knows it, you know it, we all know it, that they have to get 2 or 3 more big guys. You have to have 3 or 4 guys that can play inside, physically can rebound the basketball, can set screens and things of that nature. And they've been missing that. Jordan, some will say, well, he's a big, but he's more of a stretch. He's not a real banger, and that's what I'm looking for them to go out and find those guys. Now, are they available? There are certainly bigs out there because there's over 2,000 players in the portal, and I guarantee you they're not all guards. So I don't know if it's that he's reached out and maybe publicly people haven't picked up on that and we haven't heard, or there's players that he's going to wait to try to reach out to, or other players that maybe other teams have gone after that he's not excited about. I don't know. I don't have an answer because obviously I don't get to talk to him about that, but I don't think there's any question that he knows there has to be an emphasis on that. Shooting You got Haggerty as your point guard. You're going to get another, I'm sure, ball handler to back up Haggerty. But as far as the bigs are concerned, yeah, they need to get another, at minimum 2, but I think 2, 3, maybe even 4 more big power forwards that you will play up front, because you're going to meet all types of different teams in the during the season, some that have big insides, and you certainly don't want to get dominated inside the painted area.
Our guest is Greg Gaston on the Sissy's Log Cabin Guest Line, and Greg's with us every single Thursday from the Tiger Sideline. It's brought to you by Jim's Place Collierville, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, the law offices of Stephen Leffler, and Neil's Bar and Grill. And Greg, you know, through the years, when it presents itself, and I have to be, I can be very direct and pointed and critical of Coach Hardaway. But it's not overscheduling. It has not ever been overscheduling. Back off, people, about him. I'm scrolling through X the other night, and I think the schedule looks great for next year. And I'm seeing this kind of consistent complaint of no Tennessee, no Arkansas, no Louisville. Come on, people. We know right now that we're at loggerheads with Tennessee. That's not going to happen as long as Penny Hardaway's coach at Memphis and Rick Barnes is coach at Tennessee. Move right along. The next time for something to soften there is one, if not both of them, leave their current jobs, and there's no indication of either one of those coaches leaving their job. Louisville, they're constrained by SEC, ACC challenge and their big game with Kentucky. Arkansas, I think, is as far away playing Arkansas now than it's ever been because of John Calipari. This is a great schedule. Penny Hardaway consistently rolls out there, non-conference for his fans. He can't help the conference he's in.
You hit it right on the head, and I think people are complaining just to complain. You can't see me, but I'm giving the old chef kiss because Penny Hardaway, there are things that you can question. You cannot, in my opinion, my humble opinion, question what he has done to try to make that schedule attractive to everybody. He has reached out. I'm telling you, he has reached out to school after school after school.
He'd play Duke. He'd play Kentucky.
He'll play them anywhere. Now, he's trying to get home and home, certainly, for the home schedule, because what you have in the conference is not attractive to folks to want to go out and spend their hard-earned money on season tickets. Yes, if the Tigers are destroying everybody and they're a top 10 team, and they were for just a moment last year, we know that, people will start to come out more in droves. I don't know if we'll ever see the days of the top of the era with Calipari again. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But to get to that point, you have to do the best you can in scheduling a very tough non-conference schedule. You have to have a few bye games in there, so there are going to be a couple of quote-unquote cream puffs, but because you have to fill a schedule. But there are so many schools out there that he has reached out to that don't want to play home and homes. You hit it on the head with Rick Barnes. You certainly hit it on the head now with John Calipari at Arkansas, because I think there was a chance with Eric Musselman that you may have seen a home and home series with the Razorbacks in the not-too-distant future. But he goes out, he re-ups with Ole Miss, and that should be, I think, an annual affair. It just makes sense. Mississippi State now on the schedule over the next 2 years for the first time in a while. He's obviously playing these big tournaments, which are pivotal for Memphis to play in and to succeed in. He made a smart move by scheduling San Francisco, or at least a team out west, to kind of get a warm-up game. I'm not saying it's an easy dub, but you know what I'm saying. Get a game in before Maui. The UNLV trip, I found out that it's going to be separate. It's not going to be UNLV and San Francisco and then out to Maui. It's going to be, I think, a separate trip. But that's something we would love to see, is a American Conference versus Mountain West showdown. I would love to see that become
upset net rating.
Maybe that's a jump on things. Maybe one day we'll see that, one day very soon. But Clemson and Virginia, you had them at home. Now you have to return the favor and go there. You get Missouri at home. I know they were terrible last year, but they'll fix their issues. You had to go there last year. What else do you want? He can't do anything about the conference schedule. This is about as good a schedule as you'll see. Again, he's going to add a few. I'm sure there's the bye games. You'll play the Alabama States or the Austin Peas to fill the schedule. But I got to give Penny all the credit in the world for going out there and trying to schedule as hard a non-conference schedule or non-conference slate as he can. And anybody criticizing him, in my opinion, is criticizing just to criticize.
Yeah, I don't think you can criticize him at all. I mean, this is already a great schedule for next season. It's always been a really good non-conference slate under Penny Hardaway. Talking to Greg Gaston, he joins us every week to talk Tigers. And switching gears a little bit, but football spring game on Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. Down at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We know kind of with every spring game going to be...
Look out for the tug of war. Oh, no, they're playing football. Sorry,
wrong
Greg.
one, yes. That was down in Oxford. But we know it's going to be very vanilla. It's, you're not going to see a ton from the offense. But what are you really going to be paying attention to in that spring game for Ryan Silverfield?
Well, I'm going to pay attention to you in the hot dog eating contest, Brian.
Man.
So how many can you nail in 2 minutes?
Look out, Joey Chestnut coming after you.
Give him a call and figure out how he was able to down, 20 dogs in like a minute and a half?
Greg, I had never watched him on the 4th of July. I mostly thought it was repulsive. Saturday, I watched. It was
it's impressive.
It was Olympian. Man, when he was going double dog, and they were, I said on our broadcast, I couldn't eat Jell-O like that.
It may be an Olympic. One day, it will be an Olympic sport, but it is. I don't care. It's repulsive any which way you look. I watch it. You know what I do?
If that ain't gluttony, what is, Greg?
Oh, I know. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah or something. I'm watching.
Well, I didn't go there. I didn't want the north end zone at Vaught Hemingway turned into a pillar of salt.
I'm watching on the 4th of July. I'm seriously. I'm watching the event and I'm turning my head because I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him dunk the hot dog rolls into the pitcher of water, and it makes me sick. But I want to hear, because I love the announcer, first of all. It's fantastic. Chestnut is just, he's unique. So, anyway, you won't see that. I'm kidding. Brian won't be eating hot dogs. No. But it will be the blue versus the gray. It will be, it's not an actual game, but it is for an extent of time where they're going to play, they're going to throw passes, they're going to run the ball, and they're going to tackle. They're not going to hit the quarterback. There's certainly players that aren't going to be touched, but it's going to be at least some football. And that was the case last year, and I like that we had that. A little bit of competitiveness in the spring game. But for fans to come out and see some of the new players that'll be out there, like Mario Anderson, we're looking forward to watching him play, some other new players that'll be out there. But then again, the old reliables, they're back for another season. Seth Hennigan throwing the ball to the Rock Tower, throwing the ball to Kobe Drake, throwing the ball to Demir Blankenship. You're going to see Sutton Smith run the football again. You're going to see Thomas run the football again. Now, they did get some news yesterday. They lost some players to the portal, which was expected, including a running back in Jay Ducker. And who knows if Ryan Silverfield will add a couple. He may, but I think he's very happy with the roster he has. So I'm just excited. It's football. Anytime there's football during the year is a happy time for me. So I'm looking forward to being out there on the sideline. I'll be doing some interviews for in-house, and then I'll be a part of our little radio broadcast. We'll do an hour on that. But
that's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. Yeah.
Will you patch through the PA and through the broadcast of the Tiger Network?
Yeah, that's the game plan is that they'll take me when I'm doing the interviews, and then I'm going to do probably a 10-minute segment with Wolo, just kind of go back and forth. I mean, it's all planned out right now, but hopefully that'll be the case. And you never know. There could be, little things thrown our way. But I do know this, Ryan Silverfield, don't get there late because Ryan Silverfield will be on with me right at the top of 3 o'clock. I think even 2:59 is the schedule to talk to him right before they begin. And then I think I'll have Larry Beach on at 3:15. And then we'll have players periodically that'll be brought over to me, and I'll do that. So you'll be able to hear it, hopefully, technology-wise, on the radio as well as in stadium on the Jumbotron.
Do you think I stand a better chance getting hit right now than Seth Hennigan gets hit Saturday?
Yes. You got a better chance right now. Are you at Forest City or in the city?
I am. Either place. I don't think I think Seth Hennigan has zero shot at getting hit Saturday, and he shouldn't.
Let me tell you something. The portal's still open. If somebody hits Seth Hennigan,
you need to keep going.
They may be encouraged to jump into the portal.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. No, Brett, I'm telling you, you have a way better shot right now. Alone in your house? Than,
I feel safe.
Well, I think Seth Hennigan will.
Seth Hennigan will enter next year only 11 from tying Brady White for most touchdowns in Tiger history. He already has the most yards. 11 to tie, 12 to break. Use that note Saturday, Greg.
Yeah, this run of quarterbacks for Memphis has been incredible. One after
Really
the other
has
after the other. And
coaches.
And yes, it's been a really good run. So that's when I hear people saying, "Hey, if Memphis went the way of UConn, or went the way, especially the way of a Gonzaga, they don't play football at all. At least UConn plays football. Would it be stop with that conversation? I don't want to hear it. This is fun. What's going on? The excitement this season. What could be? Every player I've had on the radio so far talks about them being the hunt it. So they expect to go into conference play, win the conference regular season title, win the championship game, maybe be in the playoff. I mean, the expectations are incredibly high, and I think you're going to get those kind of vibes throughout the off season. Hopefully it'll come to fruition that they'll be able to play the way they've been talking. And last year they were able to perform. Now, obviously, they didn't fulfill all their goals, and they're hoping that this year will be different, and they will. But they're right now on a high, and when you have a fourth-year starting quarterback that has been here since he was a true freshman, you talk about knowing the system like the back of your hand. There are not too many schools, programs in the country that have a situation like Memphis does at quarterback.
I saw this pretty much right before we came on with you, but On3 Recruits posted about a four-star quarterback, Antoine Hill, who Memphis has been in on, and there's a whole story about what he had to say about Memphis. I was listening the other day when you and Eli had Matt Reiser on the show, and something he said makes me think about this when it comes to Ryan Silverfield recruiting. You were talking about kind of roster construction for the baseball team, and he said, Matt Reiser did, kind of talking about some of the higher level prospects that are in this area and kind of going to them and saying, look, you can go to Ole Miss, you can go to Mississippi State, you can go to one of these SEC schools, but you can come here and you can start immediately. You can get on the field and get that draft profile ready and show that you can play at the next level. With now the expanded college football playoff, how much is Ryan Silverfield using that same thing of, look, you can go to these other places, but you could come here to Memphis, start immediately, play immediately, and we still have a shot. We have just as much of a shot to be that group of 5 team to make the college football playoffs.
Oh, he's certainly using that to his benefit. There's no question about it. Now, Memphis has been for a long time kind of the kings of getting walk-ons that turn into stars, getting guys that weren't heralded coming out of high school, that didn't get all the recruiters there to watch their games, didn't get all the offers, and Memphis has given them opportunities. They've made the best of it. I mean, I could rattle off name after name after name.
Just in Shelby County.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you not only get the homegrown products, but this is for anybody, whether they're from the area or from outside the area. Why not sell what you're able to do at Memphis, that you can come in, that you can play right away, that you still can go to the playoffs. I know they don't have a lot of opportunities, but at least they have an opportunity. There is a seat at the big boys table now for all the group of 5s, and I don't have to explain that. People know what I'm talking about. There's also that opportunity when you come to Memphis to get that playing time that you could build yourself into an NFL player. It's happened time and time again at Memphis. No, they're not producing what Alabama produces. They're not producing what Ohio State produces. But when you look around schools of their level, if you want to call it group of 5 or even some that are in the Power 5 conferences, Memphis is producing more NFL players than those schools are. So there's a lot of positives to sell the recruits on to come to Memphis, to play here, to have their stock rise, and to get an opportunity. It's a small percentage of players that play at the next level, but you're going to get that opportunity. No stone is unturned, and in this day and age, they find you, and it's not that hard to find, especially when most games are on television now anyway. They're going to see these players in Memphis. So you might as well go to a place where you're going to sit and play as opposed to go to a place where you're going to sit. You want the opportunity to shine, and the only way you can is when you're on the field.
Yeah.
Greg, again, tomorrow morning, special guest, and what time to join you and Eli?
Yeah, so Colby Rogers, who was the Wichita State transfer, Memphis has picked him up in the portal. He'll be on at 8:30 tomorrow. He's scheduled to be on at 8:30.
All right, well, we'll
Good
definitely
stuff.
be tuning into
Great
that.
stuff.
That's going to definitely be a great segment. Greg, thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy the spring game this weekend.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much. Greg Gaston with us every Thursday talking Tigers, and tomorrow morning a really special guest. And it's a fun weekend for the University of Memphis. Johnny, you'll know the answer to this. For Saturday, for the Tigers? Do they try to simulate game day? Do they bus over the stadium, or do guys get over there on their own? Do they try to replicate a game day Saturday or not during the spring?
They try to emulate a game day, so that they're going to bust over there. Everybody going to meet at the facility, and they're going to bust over there. So and they're going to treat it as
just like
as
opening day. Yeah.
I like that.
Now, will both teams dress in the Tiger locker room, or would one team go down to the visitors' locker room?
They're both going to dress in the Tigers' locker room. Everybody going to dress in the Tigers' locker room, and they're going to wear different jerseys. That's the only difference. They're just going to wear different jerseys.
And that way, it won't be that different for them when they do it for real, come late August.
Yeah.
And it's really going to feel like a real game to them and get everybody, we got the new transfers and all the guys, just get everybody comfortable with being on the field together and really getting that feeling of a game day.
Now, Tiger social media Saturday could have some fun.
Sure.
Yeah. With something like this. Say just, Mr. and Miss Fan, if the concession stands are open, I don't know, go to the concession stand, and they're having hot dogs. Hey, we're having a hot dog eating contest at the Tiger spring game.
Good, yeah, absolutely.
Or, show two players, bowing up against each other. This is how we describe tug of war. Tiger football social media could have some fun Saturday.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. We'll see if
Rock Taylor catch a touchdown pass and kind of dunk it over the goalpost. Yeah. This is our slam dunk contest.
That'd be good.
I'm not trying to do anybody's job for them. I'm just a suggestion box here.
Just throwing it out there. You get some light jabs out there and get a lot of
everything in good-natured
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, that's
sure
a great idea.
Everybody, let's get together and head down to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. That's the first exit into Mississippi on Highway 78. When you get to Kraft Goodman Road, you're there. And if you want to get charged up, you can. Get down to All-Star in Olive Branch and test drive one of the new EV Blazers. And it's still Chevy truck season. If you're ready for a new Silverado, all the Silverados with financing down to 2.9 for 72 months and thousands in cash and trade. New Trailblazers, Equinox with 1.9 financing, no payments for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it from Drew and all the team at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. You want something pre-owned? They've got it. Ram trucks, Jeeps, Tahoes, Suburbans, a Traverse with third-row seating. If it's not on the lot, ask Jeff, ask Kevin, ask any of the salespeople, and they can find it for you with their many, many contacts. Military, teachers, first responders, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus back instantly. Where are you going for graduation, for Mother's Day? How are you going to spring into summer for that first big road trip? Better yet, what are you driving? Need to be driving something from All-Star Chevrolet. Remember, it's not Collierville, it's not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or South Haven. It's got to be Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star in Olive Branch today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's grab a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
That's a good idea for the social media department.
Hot wings. What's your favorite flavor? The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 32 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Crazy Lemon Twist, a savory, zesty, and citrusy taste of fresh lemon twist. The Jalapeno Cheddar, an acidic and spicy flavor completed with a burst of sharp cheddar. Or Crazy Sweet Heat, tangy sweetness followed by the heat. And that's just 3 of the amazing 32 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the Crazy Coop Special. Choose from 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, fries, and drink, all for just $9.99. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. we sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, it feels like this entire show has just been us talking about something and then saying, well, let's file that away till 5:30.
And now I've forgotten every one of the subjects.
And now 5:30 is here. Well, good for you. I think I've remembered most of them.
Very good.
And we can start with one that came with breaking news today, that Reed Sheppard has entered the NBA draft. I think we were in agreement. I think we always thought that he was going to go to the NBA draft, especially after how he played late in the season at Kentucky. And from all accounts, a first-round pick. A lot of people I see, even a lottery pick. And so I didn't think there was a doubt in my mind that he would leave after his freshman year and go on to the NBA. But you're right, Brett, and you mentioned it earlier, and we said we were going to come back to it. Big Blue Nation did not have that same sentiment. They were trying to fight to the bitter end, saying that he was definitely going to come back to Kentucky.
And they thought he was the one. In-state youngster, mom and dad played at Kentucky. Dad, MOP of the Final Four in 98 for Tubby Smith's team. It was Big Blue, absolute hubris. It was ridiculous. There was no way he was going to turn down that. I'm going to say if he's 7th, 8th, 9th, just somewhere in there, not top 5, but but in the lottery, but in single digits. Let's say 9th. I think just that's $18 million.
Yeah.
So Kentucky's going to get so to beat $18 million. You got to have $18 million in one, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
For them to get that together, how are they going to fund everybody else? How are they going to keep them happy? And are they going to have a contract of your knee gets shattered, it's obliterated, and you don't ever play another second again?
Right.
Now, if that happens next year in the NBA, that'd be horrible for him. That would limit any idea of future money. Mm-hmm. But he would still be sitting on $18 million.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that.
At Kentucky, I don't think they could get to that. And they had dreams of we can offer him security the rest of his life with a job. Yeah, paying what?
Not what he's going to be paid in the NBA. I can assure you of that.
It was fanciful and silly on the face of it, and I guarantee you now, the defenders, the ones that were advocating that, are now going to say, "Well, but if Cal had stayed, he could have made it all work." If Cal had all the answers at Kentucky, why did he just win one?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you. Right, because he doesn't have all the answers.
And it will be inescapable for the rest of time that he just won one.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
That number's never changing.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that. I'm looking because I'm interested.
At Kentucky.
Sure.
He just won one at Kentucky.
I was interested to see because I don't know how many people are aware that, Reed Sheppard was not a highly recruited player to Kentucky in terms of what that class was. You had 5 stars all over the place in that class, and he was a 4-star, but 247 just straight up had him 79th in the country. 24 Sports Composite, which puts all the recruiting sites together, had him much higher at 43. And so I went back and was looking. The year before, the 79th player in just 247 was Kamari Lands, who started his career at Louisville. This year played at Arizona State and averaged 4.5 points per game. Last year in the composite 43 was Jet Howard, who also was a first-round pick in last year's NBA draft. So certainly closer to Jet Howard. But I do think a surprise for sure of what he did at Kentucky, and I don't think you can pass that up and just say, I'm going to come back for another year at Kentucky. When you have built that much hype and you've played that well, you got to cash in on that when you can.
Brian, I'm not. Are you connected to a lot of the mock draft sites?
I look at him every once in a while.
What's his range right now?
So I actually had Tankathon pulled up, and they actually have him at 5th overall, going to and obviously pre-lottery, but if everything just went stock, he would go to the Spurs at number 5 is what Tankathon is saying.
Now, I did have this proviso during that conversation around him that if he fell to something like 25th or then that might be a different subject matter, but anywhere single digit or just in the lottery, it was no way, and the proponents of him taking the deal were advocating that he would even at that, and it's just the wildest, craziest notion ever.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So I just
his mom and dad are saying, "Son, sign. This is what you're gonna. This is your job."
And even more than that, it's your dream. Every player that goes to college and plays basketball wants to one day play in the NBA, and when you have that sitting there and saying, "Look, you're going to be a first round pick," I've pulled up a couple of other mock drafts. NBADraft.net has him at number 4 to Portland. So that's now 2 that have him in the top 5. And then I've got Kyle Boone over at CBS Sports has him at 4 to the Hornets. So, top 5 all around in these mock drafts. Your dream's to be in the NBA.
So he's not going to be there when the Grizzlies pick unless ping pong balls go really right.
Sure, and obviously, could be if teams pass up on him, but I don't think getting out of the top 10 from the mock drafts I'm looking at. And so you've got to pounce on that. If you're projected to be a top 5, top 10 pick, there's no question in your mind if you should go back to college.
I know it hurts them, but the NBA has more money than Big Blue Nation.
It does.
They really do.
And very easily, too.
Life-changing money.
It's not a question.
Millions of lives. They can change a bunch of lives. Yeah. We started the show with, I was talking about the Jerry Jones comments yesterday, speaking of Kentucky.
How about that?
If any Kentucky recruit, any Kentucky commit, that he'll pay double. That he wants them with John Calipari at Arkansas. Do we tell Jerry Jones that if you get him, that means maybe a first-round loss to like Colgate?
Well, maybe let him learn that.
That's not changing either.
No.
Are we going to have amnesia about John Calipari the last 5 years at Kentucky?
I think
if we want to, I can play along.
I think it's just more excitement of what, the start of something new at Arkansas, maybe.
That's what it is.
I like feelings.
Sure.
But I also like facts.
Yeah. But I think, if the trend continues, they'll learn very quickly, and I'm sure the tune will change those. Sometimes, especially with children, they've got to do something to learn it. They're not going to be, they're going to continue to touch the stove. If
you got to learn that fire's hot.
You got to learn, yes. So maybe Arkansas just has to learn the hard way. I don't know.
Maybe so. And with that, the band's back together again. I don't know what the NIL fundraising push was at Arkansas. I think it was One Arkansas, something like that. It was coalescing because there had been groups really for a long time now of a lot of infighting. I think people will remember back to the Houston Nutt days. There was the controversial plane flying over with the banner of Fire Houston Nutt. That was by a very prominent booster whose name is often mentioned in all this wheeling and dealing, not Jerry Jones. But that was part of it. There's been a lot of not being unified at Arkansas, whether it was – and one thing that really sparked a lot of battles internally was the whole handling of Bobby Petrino. Should we suspend him? Should we fire him? Should we keep him? Just take the hit.
Sure.
Now with the value of hindsight and how things have changed, heck, in society and around sports, suspend him for the Utah Tech game opening day, and not disable your own football program like that really kicked off.
Yeah.
That kicked off the John L. Smith interim year that led to Brett Bielema, that led to Chad Morris, that's now led to Sam Pittman. That's not going to end well.
Yeah.
But they're unified, and come coaching carousel time, they're going to make a splash.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and I mean, I think there's a couple out there. We were talking earlier. What would be as big or bigger than John Calipari of a hire for college football? And I think there's a couple out there, but again, I would not be surprised if they did anything. And you go out there. You mentioned it earlier. Go out, and if you're going to provide a great NIL package, I loved what you said earlier, because you can't just go out and hire a coach that's been successful at a smaller program.
Could it be Coach Prime?
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about Dion.
Let him go 8-4.
Shame on me.
The connection with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones made them interview,
You're right.
knowing that they weren't. Everybody knew he wasn't going to be hired, but he wanted Deion Sanders, his friend, to have that practice, to have that experience.
It certainly could be, and man, that would be. I mean, you talk about being as big or bigger than hiring Calipari.
Because if you're going to make that big November splash, you're not doing it hiring the Kansas State coach.
No, and
No,
like
you're
you
not.
said, again, I loved. I mean, you can't. You've got to find somebody. If you're going to make this big NIL and you're going to give it to somebody and you want them to succeed with it, you have to have somebody that has succeeded with it, has shown that they can go out and
that's
bring
written
in
the book
with it.
on it.
Yes, and I think there's a couple of coaches out there that know how to do it, but I still think a lot are trying to learn. And but Coach Prime has certainly shown. Now I think you would maybe want to say, look, Coach. Maybe not the rotating door that we've seen these last couple of years in terms of players coming in and immediately coming out and that sort of thing. But, that would be crazy. That would be insane.
I've been told that Arkansas is doing a lot of that planning now, kind of getting the player personnel department, the general manager, all these pro terms, get all that settled, stable, maybe not an individual hired because that new coach would want to do that, but have the grunt work done to hit the ground running when they make the splash.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible. It really, and you talked about that. And
there's nobody who wants to humiliate and embarrass Sam Pittman, but I think we all collectively know that that's not going to end well.
No, it seems like it's going in the wrong direction. It doesn't seem like it's getting any better. I mean, I don't know if I told you this or not, Brett, but I saw somebody over the weekend that went to Arkansas, is a big Arkansas fan, and they were back in town, and I said, hey, did you see the Arkansas spring game? Man, that new quarterback from Boise, he sure looked good. And he looked at me and goes, didn't watch a second of it, and all I know is they might have a quarterback, but they don't have anything else. And I said, oh, well, that seems to be how it's going right now.
Even have a big time tackle that's in the portal, and it's pretty thin.
Yeah, no, it is pretty thin. So I think that's the way to go. But I do love this idea of Arkansas. All the boosters being on the same page and everything. Having that kind of one direction on where you go from now.
Everybody getting along. Everybody gets along at the commissary. 2 great locations for it. The new Collierville commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown and out at Houston, Levy, and Poplar. We can get along outside on the patio in this great weather and watch the playoff games all weekend and enjoy the good times. Perfect for a big group. And if you want to enjoy that Memphis-style barbecue and ribs done the authentic, slow-cooked Memphis way, do it at the commissary. If you're craving an easier way to order, you can do that right now. Get your phone out. Text commissary right now. 33733. Order away. They'll have it waiting on you. Start that barbecue feast with the appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales, the smoked chicken wings, or the barbecue nachos invented, created at the Germantown commissary by Walker Taylor and his team in the early 80s. Now a staple of sports, a staple of everywhere. So delicious. That's where it started, out at the Germantown commissary. Then dig into the ribs of the shoulder, chopped or pulled, all the sides like beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread, and you can order it by the pound or a 6-pack, 8-pack, or a 12-pack. And the desserts like the lemon icebox pie or the banana pudding or the strawberry cake. Here's the number, 901-754-5540, or go online, it's so convenient, at commissarybbq.com. In Collierville and Germantown with the great party areas, orders to go, catering, tailgating. Start thinking about Mom and her big day. It's always time for the commissary, 901-754-5540, or online at commissarybbq.com.
Well, let's get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or 2024 Tiguan S, or 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for $33,988. So get it done and be ready to ride at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Tyler from Wendy's here. The best part of Wendy's new Cinnabon Pull-Apart is every part. Unlike mornings, which have no good parts, until now. Because with Wendy's new breakfast Cinnabon Pull-Apart, mornings finally don't completely suck. And now that mornings have warm cinnamon sugar rolled dough and ooey gooey frosting, are they the best part of every day? Probably not, but you get the idea. Get to Wendy's today and get the best part in every bite with the new Cinnabon Pull-Apart.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Cinnabon is a registered trademark of Cinnabon Franchisor SPV, LLC.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's Cool Cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or Cool Cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
What I learned today, it wasn't the start that Jack Leiter hoped for when he woke up this morning, but there were some positive signs. So his first inning was really good, 2 strikeouts, and I also got a fly out, I believe. So pretty clean first inning. After that, the wheels kind of fell off a little bit. Now, I will say, some of those hits he was charged were, I thought, kind of bad fielding by his team that weren't really ruled errors. But Jack Leiter, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikes. I didn't think it was the worst first outing for him. I think he's going to have a very promising career, but I'm sure he certainly wanted it to go a little bit better than it did this morning.
And it'll get better. That's called being a rookie when you first start. It happens. What I learned, no run this year for Miami. It was fun last year. Bam Adebayo couldn't do a good job last night against Joel Embiid, who was playing on one leg, and Tyler Hero was no hero. He had the over and back at midcourt, the violation, and then he got the block in his face by Batum. Only time he's really been heroic was in that bubble. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right about that. And man, he tried, I guess, last night, but it might come back and really, really hurt that Heat team tomorrow night when they play in that second play-in game. What I could have done without, it's right. What you're talking about kind of with the Heat and with Jimmy Butler, it's all these injuries in the NBA now that we've gotten to the playoffs. We talked about Jimmy Butler and his MCL sprain. He's going to be out tomorrow night. Zion Williamson, his injury, he'll be out tomorrow night for the Pelicans. Alex Caruso, it kind of looks like maybe a game-time decision. Kawhi Leonard is still very questionable for the start of that series. Giannis Antetokounmpo will probably miss a couple of games to start the series. So a lot of injury to a lot of very important players in the NBA right now as we get the playoffs started.
And what I could do with that, I just said he was on one leg. I know he's hurt, but there's some NBA media that loves him some Joel Embiid. 5 playoff series wins in 7 years with the Sixers for Joel Embiid. We sure are quick to glorify some and kind of diminish others. There's no comparison between already what Nikola Jokic has accomplished compared to Joel Embiid.
No. I mean, what Jokic has done has been unbelievable. It's been incredible.
Not even comparable.
And I think
and
probably going to win another MVP.
Half the attention.
Yeah, that's right. And part of that.
In the market.
Sure. And how late they start their games.
And nobody really knows what time Mountain Time is.
Exactly. I mean, what
is it 2 hours? Is it hours? The same as ours?
No clue.
Nobody knows.
No, not at all. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to Hilton Head. Golf tomorrow on Calabogie Sound. It sounds like the golf term, but it's not spelled that way. Pressure off from last week. 55th year as a PGA Tour stop. Since 1983, it's been the week after the Masters, and this stop sure could be in some trouble once the Saudi royal family takes over the tour. It probably won't be a tournament the week after the Masters at some point, so this tournament could look and feel very differently going forward.
Did you pay attention to our CPC tournament at all today?
The Corrales Punta Cana, I did.
You got it.
And we did a good job on the picks on that.
We did. I was looking at them earlier.
Hey, I was shocked.
It's a really good
What
picking
time
so far.
did they tee off this morning?
Like 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was extremely early.
I brought it up, and like 9 holes had been played at 7:30.
Yeah, and they only showed like 2 hours on TV this morning.
It was a small window for Corrales Punta Cana.
Very small. I was not happy with the lack of window. I'm beaming tonight. D-backs and Giants later tonight, 8:30. I was going to beam to Marlins and Cubs, but that one has been postponed because of rain. It's only 1 game left on the slate today in Major League Baseball.
You know what I always call the Marlins when they visit Wrigley, don't you?
What's that?
The Steve Bartman Bowl. That was the NLCS when he became famous.
Wow, I love that. That's great. But it certainly is a limited
It
schedule
really is.
tonight.
This is as light a sports night as we'll get.
Certainly what we've had.
Well, we got last night of hockey, don't we?
That's right. Kraken go tonight, last game of the season.
Hockey, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I got it.
Hey, I'm ready for them hockey picks coming
tomorrow.
Yeah, we got to make hockey picks
We shouldn't
tomorrow.
threaten our audience like that.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Short show for us as well tomorrow, so we definitely can't be threatening the audience like that. But that is all the time we have today. Enjoy your night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.